Are you a first-time homebuyer here in Silicon Valley or anywhere in the San Francisco Bay Area? This video is for you. This is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group. If you're watching this video and you're a first-time home buyer in the Silicon Valley or anywhere in the San Francisco Bay Area, you found the right video because we're going to go over the 5 biggest mistakes that I see countless Silicon Valley home buyers make in today's market. Now, if you're not in Silicon Valley and you're just a first-time home buyer anywhere in the country, a lot of these mistakes still apply to you. So still watch this video because you're still going to get quite a bit from it. Before we hop into the mistakes though, if you are a first-time home buyer here in Silicon Valley or in the San Francisco Bay Area, and you're looking for a comprehensive guide to get you started in the home buying process here in the Bay Area, go ahead and text the word buyer guide to the number down below for a comprehensive guide, Kickstarter guide, if you will, to get you from point A to point Z and in that next home of yours, in your first home of yours, the perfect home, perfect perfect home. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into number 1, which is I see so many home buyers in today's market being fooled into thinking that cash is king, being fooled into thinking that they can't compete in this market because they don't have enough money down. That couldn't be further from the truth. I've seen many clients, I've had many of my clients specifically win in situations where they're up against cash offers and they only have 5, 10, 15, or 20% down. Now, why does this myth exist? Why does this concept exist? Well, it's true that there is a certain security to a cash offer. And when you're up against a cash offer as a home buyer, you need to understand how to compete with them. And in order to better understand this, you need to understand the actual contingencies that are in place when you make a financed offer. When you make a financed offer, you typically have 2 contingencies that you have in your back pocket. A loan contingency in the San Francisco Bay Area is typically anywhere from 7 to 14 days. And that is a process by which the bank actually goes through your file and underwrites your loan. The underwriting process typically takes 7 to 14 days for a really slow direct lender type bank. Think Wells Fargo, think B of A, think Chase. These big banks are inundated with refinances and all of these other types of loan products, and they have a lot of clients, right? And so these big banks are inundated with refinances, and frankly, they have a lot of clientele. And so the big banks are typically very sluggish when it comes to getting you a full underwritten approval. Once your loan has gone through underwriting, the bank conditionally approves your loan. This conditional approval is what allows you as a home buyer to freely, safely, and confidently remove your loan contingency. On the flip side, there is the appraisal contingency. A bank is only going to lend up to the appraised value of the home or the purchase price, whichever is lower. An appraisal, if you've ever watched like an antiques show or something like that, you'll know that an appraiser that goes and appraises an antique, it's a lot like what the bank does when they issue an appraisal to get done on your home. In essence, an appraiser goes out to your property. In essence, an appraiser will go out to your home and assess a value to it, using the comparable sales and the market data around it to assess that value. A cash offer, on the other hand, doesn't need an appraisal. So if you're making a financed offer, you need to, at the very least, know that if you're making an offer with an appraisal contingency, you're not actually offering what you offered. You're offering what the home appraises for, unless you waive that appraisal contingency. And so, as a first-time home buyer, you're likely thinking, wow, cash is king. That's not true. The security of cash is king. And in order to properly and effectively submit a competitive offer in today's environment, you need to be able to waive those 2 contingencies. Now, I'm not saying that that's the scenario or the case for every single offer, but in a lot of offer situations, especially when we're going up against multiple offers, waiving those 2 contingencies are essential to being a competitive home buyer. I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, whoa, Danny, slow down now. How am I going to waive my contingency on my loan when I don't know if I'm conditionally approved? I have a solution for that. You see, a lot of the lenders that my team works with can actually pre-underwrite your file and issue that conditional approval before you even make your first offer. In essence, the bank will commit to lending to you before you even make an offer. Isn't that amazing? That grants you peace of mind when making an offer and allows you to come in without that loan contingency, therefore matching the same strength and security as a cash offer. If you're looking for a list of lenders that can provide you with that pre-underwritten approval prior to you making your first offer, go ahead and text the word underwritten to the number down below. And that leads us to the second mistake that I see first-time homebuyers making here in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is fear of getting pre-approved or not getting pre-approved soon enough due to this fear that your credit score is going to be negatively impacted. Now, when you get pre-approved for a loan, your credit score will absolutely get a hard inquiry on it. Don't get me wrong, it's not a myth. Your credit score does get impacted when you get pre-approved for a loan. However, what people don't understand is the severity of that credit inquiry is very minor. Your credit score will likely be impacted somewhere between 5 to 10 points. Now, I'm not a financial guru or anything. I'm not a CPA. I'm not anything. So I'm just giving this general advice based off of things that I've experienced with my clients and when I personally have gotten pre-approved for a loan before. That credit inquiry typically lasts 1 to 2 months, and then your score bumps right back up. So it's really no big deal. Why else do you have great credit other than to buy a house? The problem with not getting pre-approved soon enough is that a lot of first-time home buyers have this idea or this concept of what purchase price they want to be at, and they know they're not quite there yet for whatever reason. Maybe credit score, or maybe it's their down payment, but for some reason there's a limiting belief that you can't actually buy the home, or you can't afford the type of home that you want to buy, the price point home that you want to buy. What I find oftentimes is that when my clients get pre-approved, they're approved for way more than they actually think they can afford. Now, I'm not saying to buy something or to put yourself in a situation that you're not comfortable with, but what I am saying is that when you get pre-approved or getting pre-approved early in the process gives you the ability to do one of two things. By getting pre-approved early, you're actually going to realize, or you either will realize, that you can get to that price that you're looking to buy, or it will give you a roadmap to get to where you want to buy. Meaning, Danny, I really want to buy $1 million home, but right now I'm pre-approved for $800,000. Okay, great. Well, there's a $200,000 delta there. How do we get there? What's the roadmap? Is it a 3-month path? Is it a 6-month pathway? Is it a year-long pathway? Let's map that out, and any great lender that you talk to will be able to give you that roadmap, will be able to give you that strategy to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Mistake number 3 is not seeking multiple approvals due to this fear that your credit score is going to be impacted. This couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of lenders will lie, bold-faced lie to their clients, saying that they shouldn't get multiple pre-approvals because that will negatively impact their credit score. That's a fallacy. You see, the credit bureaus understand that when you're shopping for a mortgage, it's natural and it's common for you to seek multiple opinions. You typically have a 30-day window or so to get multiple inquiries on your credit report and have the subsequent inquiries after the first mortgage inquiry, and having subsequent inquiries after that primary or that first inquiry could be considered soft pulls or soft credit inquiries. I myself have experienced this many times as a home buyer. In that process, you typically see your credit score maybe go down 1 point or 2 points after that first initial pull. The total credit impact is nominal. Now, if you're teetering on the edge, you might want to be careful. So it is a word to the wise, right? If you're kind of teetering on that 720 mark or that 780 mark, those are some of the benchmarks for rate differences. And so if you're teetering, definitely have that conversation. But for the most part, if you're not on that edge or you're not flirting with, those boundary lines, I would highly encourage you to seek multiple opinions, because you want to know that you're getting the best price for your money. Now, the fourth mistake that I see first-time homebuyers making, specifically here in the Bay Area for some reason, is they don't seek out an agent soon enough. You see, a great realtor can help you understand the market. They can help you understand the trends. They can get you acclimated with all of the different neighborhoods, perhaps even neighborhoods that you weren't considering or didn't know about. And they can also get you in touch with great lenders that will get you the best price for your money. You see, the difference between a salesman and a great realtor is that a salesman will push you and try and make you uncomfortable and get you to buy something right away. A great agent We'll guide you through the process, be that liaison for you, and ultimately create a lasting relationship so that they're not just that agent for you on that transaction, but that they are your agent for life. And that's really what I tell all of my clients, is that I'm not here to just sell you this house. I want to do such a good job for all of you, for you, that you never want to buy or sell another house without me or my team again, and you never want any of your family members or your friends, neighbors, coworkers, right, to buy or sell without us again. And that starts on this journey, right? And so as a first-time home buyer, by picking a great agent right off the bat, and just FYI, I'm a real estate agent. My team is more than happy to help you. Shameless plug. But in all seriousness, teaming up with a great agent from the get-go can set you up for success just in terms of overall education and making sure that you're taken care of throughout the process. I'm gonna link a testimonial video to one of my past clients whom we helped for over 6 months. We took them from beginning. They had no idea how to buy a home. We took them all the way to the end. And yes, there were a lot of showings. There were a lot of neighborhoods that we explored, but that's part of the home buying process. And to not have an agent in that process could mean that your timeline is either extended or that you just end up in the wrong situation. Additionally, a great agent will give you the ability or give you access to off-market properties. And that leads us to the 5th biggest mistake that I see first-time homebuyers making here in the Bay Area. And that is not knowing or not understanding that there are other homes that aren't listed on the major websites like Redfin, Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow. Yeah, they have a majority of the inventory, but a great agent will have access to off-market opportunities or off-MLS opportunities for their home buyers. Now you're probably asking yourself, what is an off-market property? Well, there are many ways or many avenues by which an agent can source off-market opportunities, but really, the primary way that any agent can help you source off-market opportunities is through networking or through their network. I'm gonna break down for you how my team goes about sourcing off-market opportunities. Obviously, every agent is a little bit different, but I can give you the 3 main ways in which my team sources off-market opportunities for our clients. The first one is through my brokerage's network. My team works under the Antero Real Estate umbrella. We're one of the largest brokerages here in Silicon Valley with over 3,000 agents. As you can imagine, 3,000 agents going out every single day, signing new listings, signing new homes to put on the market. These homes are available to agents at Antero before any other brokerage. And so I often have access to these off-market opportunities or these coming soon listings before they go on the MLS. A common question that I get is, Danny, why would a seller ever want to sell off market? And you would be surprised how many home sellers actually make the decision to sell their home without the maximal amount of competition. Now, going in as a home buyer to an off-market opportunity or an off-market listing typically means that you're going to avoid the majority of the competition that you would face if you were to see that home on the open market. But why would a seller do that? The biggest reason why I see sellers sell their home off market is typically for convenience. They're less concerned with getting the highest possible price and more concerned with getting a great price and better terms, faster move out, less people, less traffic through their homes. You would be surprised, especially right now during COVID. Obviously, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic and not every home seller wants to have 1 million people walking through their home. But even pre-COVID or post-COVID, there's going to be a lot of sellers, or there were a lot of sellers that decided that they didn't want 1 million people trampling through their home, and they didn't want to go through the whole hassle of getting out of the property for open houses and showings. And so if a buyer comes in pre-market, offers them a great price that they're willing to accept, a lot of sellers opt to do that instead of getting the highest possible price. Now, I'm not saying every seller does that, but a good portion of them do. Okay, so let's get back to how we source off-market opportunities. So obviously we have our brokerages network, Antero, and we have a lot of off-market opportunities that come in through that channel. We also have access to Top Agent Network. Top Agent Network is specifically reserved for the top 10% of realtors here in the San Francisco Bay Area. My team actually this year in 2020, we will be in the top 1% of all real estate teams in the entire Bay Area. Because of that, we have access to this networking tool. Top Agent Network is a network of all the agents that are in that top 10% of San Francisco Bay Area realtors. and we can share off-market listings and get our buyers into that portal to basically see when buyers and listings match up, right? So it's a lot like Redfin or Realtor.com or Zillow or Trulia or any of the websites, but specifically for pre-MLS and coming soon opportunities. Now, there is a new clear cooperation policy, so addresses aren't advertised on the site, but the contact information for the agent is. And so I can get in touch with those agents and get more information about those listings to see if it's something that matches up with our buyer's criteria. Top Agent Network is an incredibly powerful tool, especially here in Silicon Valley. As you can imagine, 10% of the agents, we do 90% of the business. And so in that top 10%, we're really seeing about 90% of the listings or have access to them. A lot of the listings that come from those top 10% realtors prior to them actually coming on the market. And finally, the third way in which my team sources off-market opportunities for our clients is actually proactively seeking sellers out in neighborhoods that our clients are looking in. If you're one of our buyers and you've been looking in an area, but nothing has really appealed to you or we haven't been able to get you into a home, my team will actively prospect in that neighborhood. We will knock on the doors, we will drop flyers, we will deliver letters to the sellers in that area, to the homeowners in that area to see if anyone is willing to sell their home to our buyers directly. You might be asking yourself, does actually going directly to the seller like that work? And it does. Now, it doesn't work every time, but it definitely has worked enough times to where we make it a part of our arsenal to make sure that we're really providing the maximal level of service to our buyers, because we want to make sure that if you're interested in a community, that we're not potentially leaving any seller that would have sold their home in 3 months on the table. You might be asking yourself, does that actually work? Does going directly to the seller actually work? And the truth is that it does, and it's worked many times for me and for my team. If you're interested in how me and my team can help you source off-market opportunities for you and for your family here in the San Francisco Bay Area, go ahead and text the word off-market to the number down below. So that's it, everyone. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes that I see first-time homebuyers making here in the Bay Area. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, I'm really curious to hear from you. What is the biggest fear that you have in buying your first home? I'm curious, and I will respond to your comments. You leave it down below, and I will respond to that fear, and I will take the fear out of you, because no one deserves to be afraid when buying their first home. As agents, our main job is to help empower you, to make sure that you feel confident in your buying decision. That's all we have for today, everyone. For more videos like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and click that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I post. Isn't that fun? It's fun. This is Danny Gould, everyone, with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I will catch all of you in the next video.